Hey dear students, I'm finally back with a recorded video lecture related to the same story titled Madam Rides the Bus. And in this video, we are gonna cover the concluding portion of the story Madam Rides the Bus, and we will figure out as to what exactly transpires, what exactly happens in the concluding portion of this story. The author of this story, Wali Kannan, has highlighted the concepts of life and death in such a delicate manner that it makes this story really sensitive in nature. At the same time, the readers are left pondering over what exactly has been brought to light in this story. So without any further delay, let's focus on a line-by-line explanation of the concluding portion of this story and see what happens next. Now, the very first sentence of the fourth part of this story says, "Won't your mother be looking for you?" the conductor asked when he gave the girl her ticket. So as of now, we have come to know that it was the bus that had finally arrived in the town, in the center of the town, and all the passengers had already got down from the bus except for Wali, because she was required to return back to her own village, and that is why Wali did not get down from the bus. So right now, while the ticket conductor was handing over the ticket to Wali, he asked a simple question to her as to whether any of her family members would be concerned about her well-being because she was not at her home. Moreover, no one will be looking for me, she said. Now there comes the reply, the response of Wali. She replied in negative that no one would be looking for her at her home. The bus started, and again there were the same wonderful sights. So previously we have already got to know about those mesmerizing and fascinating sights that Wali got introduced with while she was there on the moving bus. There were many rivers, lakes, different roadside shops, as well as some natural elements that she devoured to the core, because she was getting the exposure to the outside world for the very first time. So while returning from the town to the village, Wali was enjoying each of the wonderful sights. Furthermore, it is written, Wali wasn't bored in the slightest, and he greeted everything with the same excitement she had felt the first time. Okay, moving ahead, it is written, Wali wasn't bored in the slightest, and he greeted everything with the same excitement she had felt the first time. Now, with the help of this sentence, it is the writer who talks about the level of excitement and enthusiasm that Wali was demonstrating at that moment. She was highly enthusiastic about her first bus ride, and this is why, while she was returning to her town, she did not feel bored at all, and she was enjoying the same sights again. But suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside, just where it had been struck by some fast-moving vehicle. Now, if we try to recall, it was the same cow that was creating a nuisance for all the vehicles that were passing on the road. Right now, the same cow had met with an accident, and that is why it was lying dead by the roadside, and the sight was simply depressing and horrible for Wali. Moving ahead, it is written, isn't that the same cow that ran in front of the bus on our trip to town? She asked the conductor. So right now, Wali asked a simple question to the bus conductor, and she wanted to confirm whether it was the same cow that they had seen previously. The conductor nodded, and she was overcome with sadness. The moment Wali got the response of the bus conductor, she was taken aback and she was completely distraught. She was filled with grief. You must say that her soul was filled with grief because it was the same creature that was filled with energy, What had been a lovable, beautiful creature just a little while ago had now suddenly lost its charm and its life and looked so horrible, so frightening as it lay there, legs spread-eagled, a fixed stare in its lifeless eyes, blood all over. So right now the writer Wali Kannan has presented a scene of the area where the accident took place and the carcass of the cow was lying there. So the moment Wali looked at the dead body, the carcass of the cow, and she could see that blood was spilled all over. At the same time, there was a fixed glare in the eyes of that creature that was none other than a young cow. Wali found the sight simply frightening and horrible. The bus moved on. The memory of the dead cow haunted her, dampening her enthusiasm. She no longer wanted to look out of the window. Right now, Wally was still traveling on the moving bus. But her perspective, her mindset was that she was upset over the death of that lovable living creature that was a young cow. And that is why there was some tinge of sadness, tinge of fear that Wally had in her mind. And that is why it reduced her level of enthusiasm, which means it dampened, it decreased her level of excitement of looking outside the window. So right now, Wally didn't want to look at the wonderful sights anymore. Moving ahead, we come to know about something related to it, and that is, she sat thus, glued to her seat, until the bus reached her village at 3:40. She stood up and stretched herself. Then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, sir, I hope to see you again." So right now, Wally was completely frightened. She was upset over the death of that young cow, and that is why Wally simply waited for the bus to arrive in their village. And the bus arrived in their village. The bus led them to the destination at sharp 3:40 in the afternoon. And the moment the bus arrived in the village and it stopped for a short while, Wally decided to get down. And the moment she got down from the bus, she extended her gratitude to the bus conductor and hoped that she would get a chance to meet him again. "Okay, madam," he answered her, smiling. "Whenever you feel like a bus ride, come and join us. And don't forget to bring your fare." As we already know about the bus conductor, that he was a jovial and jolly kind of person, and he had the tendency of cracking jokes oftentimes. And right now he was trying to pull the legs of Wally once again, so he reminded her to ensure that she brought the amount of fare the next time she decided to enjoy the bus ride. Let's get to know about the response, the remarks of Wally over it. She laughed and jumped down from the bus. Then away she went, running straight for home. After listening to the statement of the bus conductor, she simply laughed for a brief moment, and after that, she headed straight towards her home. When she entered her house, she found her mother awake and talking to one of Wally's aunts, the one from South Street. The moment Wally entered her house, she saw that there was a one-to-one interaction, a conversation going on between her mother and one of her mother's sisters, who was none other than Wally's aunts, one of the Wally's aunts from the South Street. This aunt was a real chatterbox, never closing her mouth once she started talking. Now, one peculiar characteristic of Wally's aunt was that she was a great chatterbox. She was a talkative sort of person. She was a garrulous kind of person, and that is why she had the tendency of continuously speaking on one thing or the other. And she was doing the same thing this time as well. "And where have you been? said her aunt when Wali came in. Right now, Wali had just entered her house, her home, and she was being interrogated by Wali's aunt. She wanted to know where Wali had been all this time. She spoke very casually, not expecting a reply. So, when you talk about the statement of Wali's aunt, she spoke in a casual manner as if she didn't expect any response, any reply from Wali. So Wali just smiled, and her mother and aunt went on with their conversation. As it is clearly written here that Wali's aunt was busy interacting with Wali's mother, and that is why they simply neglected what Wali had been doing all that time. They continued with their conversation. Yes, you are right, her mother said. So many things in our midst and in the world outside. So right now it is the statement of Wali's mother that has been described here. She was agreeing with the statement of her sister, that means Wali's aunt, because they were talking about something that happens in the outside world and about the significance of the universe, the size of the universe. The universe is enormous. It is so large that oftentimes we cannot predict what is going on in the outside world. So the subject matter was the same. They were talking about things that happen beyond our comprehension zone. How can we possibly know about everything? And even when we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely. Can we? Once again, it is the remark, it is the statement of Wali's mother. She was talking about how enormous the universe is, and that is why human beings cannot be expected to possess information about all kinds of things. And oftentimes what happens is, even if we have some information, even if we have gathered some information about a certain subject matter, our information may turn out to be inadequate or insufficient, and we can't even understand it completely. She was referring to the same aspect of life in general. Oh yes, breathed Wali. What? Asked her mother. What's that you say? Now, right now, Wali was overhearing the conversation that was going on between her mother and one of her aunts. So she nodded with the statement as well as agreed with the statement of her mother. And by agreeing with the statement of her mother, during that process, she breathed heavily. She took a sigh of relief. Now, her mother was completely taken aback. She was completely surprised because she didn't expect that kind of response from Wali's end. Oh, said Wali, I was just agreeing with what you said about things happening without our knowledge. Now, Wali simply put her stance. She simply expressed her opinion that she agreed with the statement of her mother because there are many things that happen without our proper knowledge or understanding of them. Just a chit of a girl she is, said her aunt, and yet look how she pokes her nose into our conversation, just as though she were a grown lady. Now, something funny and humorous has been described here, that Wali's aunt, she was talking about how young Wali was, and despite being just 8 years in age, she was trying to act like a mature person, and she was also poking her nose into their conversation that was going on. So that is why Wali's aunt, she was some kind of irritated, and that is what she expressed here. Wali smiled to herself. She didn't want them to understand her smile. But then there wasn't much chance of that, was there? After listening to the statement of her mother as well as the irritated response that she got from her aunt, Wali smiled to her inner self because only she knew what she had done that day. Now, when we talk about Wali, in order to fulfill her internal desire of enjoying her first bus ride, that too all alone without anyone accompanying her. She was required to make calculative decisions, and she made meticulous plans regarding the same. She had to sacrifice a lot of her internal desires related to balloons, toys, sweets, and candies of all kinds that have been mentioned in the first three portions of this story. So, when you talk about the implication, the hidden meaning of the last sentence of this story, we can form our opinion that Wali's mother as well as her aunt, they were completely unaware of what transpired, what happened that particular day. This story has been translated from the Tamil version by K.S. Sundaram. At the same time, it has been illustrated by R.K. Lakshman. So in this manner, this humorous, at the same time highly sensitive story that brought to light the perspectives of a young girl and her aspirations, all her desires of riding a bus all alone. Now that we are finally done with this story, Madam Rides the Bus, let's talk about the central idea, the theme or the crux of this story. So as it has been appropriately described in the overview of this story, that this piece of writing is highly sensitive, highly emotional in nature, because the concepts of life and death have been presented in a really delicate manner by the writer, by the author, Wali Kannan. At the same time, he talks about the enormity of the universe, as to how enormous, as to how big the world around us is, and that is why it cannot be expected on our part to have adequate information about all the things happening around us. Thirdly, the writer talks about the tendency and the temperament of younger children, that they are highly curious and inquisitive in nature, and that is why they feel like they have this urge to explore the world around them. And in the case of Wali, we have already seen how desperate she was to ride the bus for the first time, that too all alone without letting anyone know about her ride that took place in seclusion.